Welcome back to episode 2 of the Red Room, people. You are in the right room because this is the Red Room. And we know the red, the color red, is for Liverpool FC, not for any shabby other, scummy other club. When you think red, you think Liverpool. And when you think Liverpool fan-related media, you think Red Room. Not quite, but we'll get there one day. Hope you're all good. Hope everyone is happy, excited. Are you nervous? We haven't seen Kerkez. I've seen hashtags, where's Kerkez? Can everyone calm the F down? We can't swear in the opening few minutes of a YouTube video, so I'm not going to swear. But guys, thank you very much for the love and support. Over 230 of you already camped in here before we even mentioned Wirtz. Imagine when we've mentioned Wirtz. Stocks will rise. As you can see, lineup is slightly changed. I'm slot. I believe in my squad. I think I can go back to back. Welcome, Ben Dubai. We got two Bens, so we're going to call Ben BLFC. If you don't know, go and check out. They've just started a new podcast, new YouTube channel. I'm going to try to put it in the description as well. Ben, how are we, lad?
Yeah, good, mate. Good time to be there today. See you mentioning about people saying, where's Kerkez? Our fan base are like, no, the mate, aren't they?
It's just like, no.
Laughing. But yeah, all good, mate. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Thanks for joining us. I know it's a bit late out in Dubai, but you're a top lad. And make sure you check out his Twitter handle. Make sure you go and follow him, and make sure you go and check out his YouTube channel that he's starting. You know, we try to help each other out as much as we can in this community, LFC community, and we especially like helping out good lads. And you ain't gonna get a better lad than Ben. So make sure you guys check him out. And of course, I've got Ben. Ben's making his debut in the Red Room as well. Ben, how are we?
Yeah, I think I did the first one. I think this might be the third one. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm not anywhere as exciting as Ben Dubai right now. I'm stuck in the UK, obviously, but yeah, I'm all good, bro. Liverpool making moves off the pitch very shortly. I think it's in about 4 weeks we'll be able to see these guys on the pitch. So time slowly ticking by, but yeah, we'll get there.
100%. People, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. You already know the rules and regulations. That's all we ask for. Big up everyone. Big up from Copenhagen. Let us know where you're watching from. Lars Harsberg. Hopefully I've said that. What a name. That's a fantastic name. Am I going to offend someone if I say that's a proper darts player's name? Now, what do I mean by that? I don't know. Right? So, right? Do you play darts, Lars? Let me know if you play darts. Because if you do, I'm a winner. But thank you for joining us. Isak is joining. Redmen Gold says with a Stefan Bajcetic picture. I think a couple of you lot know what I think of Stefan Bajcetic. But listen, as long as he's associated with Liverpool, he'll have my utmost support. Where is Kerkez? There's the first where is Kerkez of the night. I mean, you know, it's just a matter of time people start saying, where is Kerkez? I told you, lads. Kerkez is waiting for his dad's medical. It's not his medical. He's waiting for his dad's medical to get the results. Like, his dad is one eager beaver. But we'll get onto that. We'll touch onto that. Scousmo's in the building as well. Fresh. You know what? You could easily be young Ryan Gravenberch.
In so many different names. Gravenberch. I've heard Isaac recently. I used to
we've got Isaac.
Yeah,
we got lads.
He's finally in the Liverpool shirt. There he is.
He's already in the
Liverpool shirt.
Him. I hear all sorts, honestly. When it was the parade, honestly, so many people came up to me and I'm like, oh, it's Gravenberch, what are you doing here? I was like, Gravenberch. Look at me. Like, look at the states of me. I'm basically very overweight. How could I look like Gravenberch? Yeah. It's good to be here. Good to be back on the Red Room. Good to be with the boys to talk about the best football club in the world. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Standard procedure. Close to 800 of you guys in here. If you haven't liked, what are you waiting for? If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's a shit Scouse accent. Ben, you got to teach me Scouse.
I was wondering what that was then.
I'm a flop, man. I'm shit. All right, I'm shit.
Grizz, come on.
All right, I'm shit. I'm better than that normally. Maybe it's nerves, man. Maybe it's nerves. Welsh Mo's in the building as well. You said hello to Scousemo. We can say hello to Welshmo. Welshmo, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone here. Smash the like button, guys. You know what to do. Yeah, just excited. Second time on here now, and let's get this show going. Let's talk Liverpool and all things Reds.
And look, Lars says he does play darts. I told you.
Wow,
I don't
great
muck
shot
about,
from
man.
you, Grizz.
That is an ultimate dart player's name, Lars Harsberg.
It's got that Carlsberg, probably the best name in the world feel to it.
That's it, man. 100%. What information? Thanks, Grizz, for all the information. Please don't believe my tweet, guys. I was joking, for fuck's sake. Have a sense of humor about you people, man. Bloody hell, man. Good evening. Oh, you never walk alone. Foodies in the building. Amazing work he does as well. Check out his Instagram, man. Ben, gonna come to you first. Dubai, Ben. Let's get serious. Liverpool have been serious from the start of this window, haven't they, Ben? Me and you had a little conversation on Twitter where you was really bullish about this window. You said, look, we really need to make a statement. We really need to make a marquee signing. That was the one. We need to go out and make a marquee signing and make a statement in this window because we've won the league. We're on top. Let's fucking capitalize for once. We've started off because this phases, isn't it? Right? We'll discuss the phases, right? But the first phase has been immaculate.
Yeah, they've caused pressure to do the sides. Now, certainly Arsenal, I'd be worried if I was them. You know what I mean? I think with regards to what we talked about, over the years, we didn't capitalise properly, did we? And when we did, after we won the league, what was it, Thiago and Jota came in, didn't start well this season, did it, with Van Dijk's injury, and then Thiago went out. So, I think Liverpool now, what they've done is this summer, they've just improved the starting 11 straight away. And the players that drop out are going into the bench and automatically improves them. People are worried about Liverpool. Simple as that. And I don't know what to say to the players at the minute, mate, because none of them seem to want to go to any other club. And long may it continue. I think it will continue. And as we move through the phases, Liverpool probably feel like they can relax a little bit now and just really focus on the big signings down the middle. But yeah, I'm excited, mate. And I think back-to-back for the Reds.
Back-to-back to the Reds. Ben?
Who's going to stop them, Chris? Who's going to stop them?
Yeah, back-to-back titles. I mean, look, we're making the right moves. And again, we've been left not stranded, disappointed, frustrated in the past windows, haven't we? We've had that one mega window when we put 4 midfielders in recently. But even that was kind of forced upon us because the 4 midfielders that left, right? Otherwise, we're very... what's the word? Economical, risk averse in the transfer market. But
just did enough, didn't we?
But if you think about it and analyze it, none of these 3 signings through the door are a risk, or are they, Ben?
No, I think the best thing about Liverpool at the minute is they're getting the top targets over the line. You look at the 3 players. I know they brought that young keeper in, but the 3 players they brought in, 2 of them are City's top targets. So what does that tell you? I think they've put a bit of pressure on the likes of Arsenal now because we've got down to the nitty-gritty part where we can focus now fully on a number 9 in the latter stages of the window. And I think it's going to cause a bit of a ripple effect through Arsenal where the fans are going to get on the backs. Because loads of Arsenal fans. If I was one of them now, I'd be shitting myself looking at Liverpool.
Simple, Ben. How are we? I mean, same question to you. None of those 3 signings are really risky, are they? In this in the grand scheme of things. Normally, we're unsure, aren't we, about signings? Was it Barry Hunter's book? Whose book was it where it said usually all transfers are 50-50 ultimately, like whether they're successful or failures? Where are you with these 3 that we've brought in so far? Kerkez, Wirtz, and Frimpong.
I think obviously the Wirtz one is in a category of its own because I feel like he was just one that I don't think any of us would have seen coming at the start of the window. I mean, I remember talking to my friends and I wanted Xavi Simons at the start of the window. I thought he'd be a really good addition for us in the 10. He can play on the left. I think he can play as a false 9 as well. I thought he'd have been a really good signing for 50, 60 million. So I'd have been more than happy with that. But to get Wirtz, the best number 10 in the world, a player that every other club wants. And by the way, we have been rejected plenty of times over the last 2-3 seasons. So to get him and to sort of come full cycle where these players want to come to here, like you alluded to, Grizz. It's the best feeling in the world, and Kerkez is the one for me that I wanted from day one, to be honest. Like when we all sort of realised, as much as we love Andy Robertson, you know, there's times last season where I was just watching him and I'm thinking, it's actually quite sad because this isn't the Robbo that we know. This isn't the Robbo that, you know, we'll tell our kids and grandkids
we fell in
around.
love with, for
Exactly.
nearly the best part of a decade. Yeah.
You'll never get me saying a bad word about him. Some people are horrible with the things they say, but the reality is we needed to change it up. So at the time, people were saying 8 Nuri, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy, but I was saying Kerkez for me from day one. He's like,
me and you disagreed on that. I know you told me straight. You said, "Listen, Kerkez is much better. Grizz, shut up." And I shut up.
No, I just see a lot of Robbo in him. I honestly do. I think he's probably better technically than Robbo with, you know, the intricate stuff. But I just feel like that bombing up and down, relentless energy for 90 minutes is literally what Robbo was really good at. So I just see that. And then Frimpong, it's not a risk, but I know we spoke a little bit off camera. There's a couple things that people might not be sold on just yet. I think we'll have to wait with that one to see how he actually fits in and how we play with him. Is he still going to go with Bradley? Because we don't know. Bradley might still be very much in his plans. But I feel like I would have been more concerned about Frimpong if we hadn't bought in Wirtz, because as much as we don't like Trent, and we won't say good things about Trent anymore on these streams, the creative side of things had to be addressed if we're going to get another right back, because there is no right back that can play like him. So to get those 3 in, I feel like, yeah, it's a very good start to the window. And we're seeing reports now that we've still got so much money to spend if we need to. We can spend another 200 million, I think, and be fine in PSR. So your life's good, man. We're champions. We're acting like champions. And as Ben Dubai said, I think we're going to carry on being champions in the next 12 months. So, yeah, it's good, man.
Scousman, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask you, because it's something that got me thinking as well, what Ben just said about Frimpong and the Bradley situation. Yeah. Hand on heart, guys, and I'll ask all of you guys, right? First game of the season, Bournemouth at home, Bournemouth at home. As things stand, who starts at right back? Scousman first.
Honestly, I personally believe that it's going to be Bradley who starts the season for us. I don't think Frimpong's going to be in the team straight away. It depends on preseason. We'll have to see how it works out in preseason, with the preseason games and even the Community Shield. We'll see how it works out. But from my mind right now, looking at it, I still feel like Bradley might start. Like Bradley was Slot's go-to player at right back was Bradley towards the end of the season when we realized Trent obviously he wasn't staying and he's leaving. He's confirmed he's gone. Bradley was in the team. So Bradley does know how to play in the slot system. So maybe it's the safe bet to start with Bradley. With Frimpong, he seems like a very exciting player. But I've still got some reservations in regards to defensively. Like, how good is he defensively? And like, I'm not saying like Bradley's amazing defensively, because he's not, but he's still a good defender. Frimpong, I'm not too sure how he is defensively. I don't think he's the best. And majority of the time he's been at Leverkusen, he's been playing as a wing back. So maybe bleed him into the team. We've seen Liverpool do this in the past, obviously with a different manager, bleeding players into the team slowly, especially when you've got a player of Bradley's quality. Because I feel like we're kind of writing off Bradley in a way, because Bradley is a very good player. Bradley is really, really good to play right back. We've seen him play there a few times for us, and he is a good player. And I'm going to look that competition between the two players for right back. Who's going to be the starter in a couple of weeks, couple of months? They can push each other on. Frimpong can push Bradley on, etc. So yeah, me personally, I think the beginning of the season it'll be Bradley that starts.
Fair enough. This is Ben Dubai's channel, guys. Make sure you're checking out Red or Alive TV. Make sure you go over and give them a subscribe, and make sure you check out, put the notification bell on, so when they go live, you already know. Welshmo, same question to you. What's Slot going to do? And would you do anything different? And based on that, I'll ask you the next question, because the next question depends what your answer is.
Similar to Scousmo, I think he's going to go with Bradley first, because Frimpong probably needs a good pre-season, and depending on how that goes, will determine what Slot wants to do. But as it stands now, to answer your question, I think he's going to go with Bradley. that's if Bradley doesn't pick up any injuries, because he's known to, have Joteritis sometimes and picks up quite a few injuries. So, if he's injury free, I think he goes Bradley first.
And my follow-up question to that was, is that the right call? Is that what you think should happen as well? Or are you like, nah, let's do it, man. We've got a new signing. Let's go and see what it's about. Let's Bournemouth at home. Where are you?
I would actually think it is the right thing. I'll bleed in Frimpong slowly. And, I think the last time we were on the stream, a lot of people on the chat were worried about that. We're bringing in too many players to the first team, in one hit. So, and I kind of disagreed to it. I said, we've got the spine of the team is still there from last year. And I think we need to kind of keep most of that as possible and then drop in those superstars as we go along. So I think, defense wins leagues, if we can start off solid with a solid back four, even a three, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, if he gets Gahey, then there's an argument to be had that we might play 3-5-2. But I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. But I think Bradley will start in a 4-3-3 formation.
My first burner has activated. I've got about 20 burners in there, so you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you, Jill, if you're real. And if you're not, I'll take it. Real Jill. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't lose it, dear Grizz. You don't lose it.
Working backwards. Simple, Ben. I'm not going to ask you about Frimpong. Well, you can answer it in one word. I'm going to ask you about the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play Let's play a game of assumptions and say Robbo decides to stay.
Okay.
If Robertson decides to stay, and they both have solid pre-seasons, who's starting left back for Slot in the first game of the season?
That one's very tough. I think that one's a toss of a coin. I feel like the other thing you could look at for this Bournemouth at home game is they're getting raided. They've already lost Hoyson. They've obviously lost the left back. They're probably going to lose a couple other players. So it could be a relatively, and I say this like touchwood, a relatively straightforward game, because it never is. But it could be. So Slot could be looking at this thinking, you know what? Maybe throw him in the deep end. Like, what's the worst that can happen? It's at home. It's a Friday night as well, isn't it? So it's going to be really good vibe at Anfield. It's going to be party atmosphere. The champions are back for the first game. I would like, look, if Robbo stays, I've always said he will be number one, but that was based on Tsimikas staying. Now, if Kerkez and Robertson are the two and Tsimikas is the one that goes, again, I think like Welshmo said, the competition for the fullback position would be incredible.
Mad.
But I still think with that one, he probably would go with Kerkez, because I think he's the one. I'm not saying Frimpong isn't, but I think Kerkez is the one that, they've been looking at for a long time, and they've been trying to think, you know what, this is the long-term vision for that spot. I think Kerkez will be thrown straight into, regardless of what happens.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Goodbye, Ben. I'm going to ask you probably the easiest one, but I don't know. It might not be as easy. Let's see what everyone thinks. Wirtz, does he start? Whose place is he likely to take, in your opinion? And where does he play? Sorry, mate. I've got to ask you the hardest question and toughest question, but you're making your debut.
It's all right. I think that's the easiest one to call, because he's taking Gravenberch's space, isn't he? Because he's suspended.
Ooh. Oh, you cheeky sod. You cheeky sod. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. You know what I mean. Switch it up. Imagine Gravenberch wasn't suspended, right?
I would be taking Dom's place. No two ways around it, I think. I think because obviously the opposition is a lesser opposition. He may as well throw all three of them. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool are going to have the ball, so you're going to go with the ones who are the best attacking players, aren't you? Let's make no mistake about it. I can understand like the Bradley chat people were saying, but Frimpong's a better attacker, for instance, at right back. Do you know what I mean? So Liverpool have got to put the foot on the throat. But yeah, he goes. You can't spend all that money, Grizz, and have him sat on the bench, can you? He's got to play. The sooner he plays, the sooner he starts getting stuck in more, and you want him to play every game pretty much, don't you? Especially in the league. So, yeah, first game will be obviously taking Gravenberch's space, but it's interesting to see what actually unfolds with Tom.
Position wise, were you saying like basically like for like in Dom, and maybe I don't know, or is there any chance of him playing as a false nine? There's been noise about false nine, you know, turning him into a Bobby type player for us. Where are you with that?
I think you want him just on the edge of the box, don't you, in the numbers 10 proper position. You've got to start getting him, finding them gaps. If he plays the false nine, then he's not being able to do that sort of as much. Do you know what I mean? So I think he'll be playing in that 4-2-3-1 down the middle behind the striker.
Let's
is Gravenberch's sorry, is he suspended for the Community Shield, or does that not count? That's what someone was asking it in the chat.
Does he miss 3 games, or is it just 1? Because he got a straight red. Did he? Or was it 2 yellows?
Oh, I can't remember now.
No, he was on a yellow, but I think he just gave him a straight red.
He gave him a straight red. So
Yeah, but does anybody know if that's 3 games or 1? No, I'm sure it's 1 game.
Violent conduct, isn't it? It wasn't violent conduct.
I'm sure it's 1 game only.
I think it's one.
2 more. I'm going to ask you the Wirtz question, because that's, I think, pardon the pun, the $1 million, or I should say the $116 million question. All right, that is the one, isn't it? Because Kerkez, I agree with Ben Dubois. I think both fullbacks will be thrown in.
Yeah, okay.
I think they'll start. Okay, I'm not sure if it's the right thing or not. I don't know. I think Kerkez definitely starts.
Yeah,
and I think probably Frimpong starts. But Wirtz, I'm not too worried about whether he starts on thing, because as Ben Dubois says, Gravenberch is out, so probably Wirtz comes in straight away. I don't think he's going to retain Jones instead of Gravenberch. But where do you see the vision of Wirtz long term in going into this season? Where do you see him playing? Honestly, now that you've done your studying of him.
Honestly, Grizz, I've been scratching my head over this since the day we were even linked.
Why?
Because Wirtz has to play. Obviously, he's our record.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, you can't drop Szoboszlai either. I feel Szoboszlai is integral to this team. And I don't know if you can recall, a couple of months ago, we had a bit of a discussion about like Szoboszlai and his lack of creativity. And that I was calling now for maybe we need to purchase a creative player in that position. For the life, we did not expect it to be Wirtz. I thought Wirtz was guaranteed to be going either Bayern Munich or Man City. Didn't even think about it. Like, as the lads were mentioning before, we don't usually go for these type of players. We usually go for like that rough diamond that we make sparkle and shine. So I was never expected it to be Wirtz. But now that Wirtz is coming in, I've always thought Szoboszlai is better in a more of a deeper role, maybe in like an 8, something like that. Not in like the deep 6 position where Gravenberch plays, but in the 8. But his legs are vital to this team. And like, he's literally, in my personal opinion, he's one of the more undroppable players in this team. You can't drop him, but then at the same time, you can't drop McAllister and you can't drop Gravenberch. All 3 of them, in my opinion, are starters. Which
they walked. Hold on, let me rephrase. That midfield walked us the league, so we have to show respect.
Exactly.
We might like shiny new toys. We might like world record players coming into our team and all that. I get it. But put some respect on those 3 players' names.
That's what I'm saying, Grizz. Like, okay, so Szoboszlai might lack in creativity wise, he is lacking in that department. However, he is so vitally important to this Liverpool football. Like, especially now that we've got Frimpong, who's going to be bombing up and down that right hand side. You're going to need Szoboszlai's legs to cover. You're just going to need that naturally. And of course, with McAllister as well, like, he's a sensational player, but he doesn't really cover that much ground. And now if you've got Wirtz and McAllister in midfield with Gravenberch, how much ground they're covering. And I know Wirtz, in terms of his pressing, he's an absolute monster. So this is the conundrum that we've got. In my opinion, all 3 of those midfielders that won us the league last season are undroppable. But then on top of that, Florian Wirtz, we've signed him. He's our record signing. And in my opinion, you can't just push him out to the left wing or make him a false 9. He needs to be in that 10. He needs to be in his position centrally to create, score goals, and produce magic. Now that especially we've lost that creative output in Trent from right back, he's going to be our main creative hub. So now I've been scratching my head for months now, trying to figure out where is he going to play.
It's exciting though, isn't it?
Exciting. And this is my point that I was going to raise. Last season with Onslaught, one thing that we realized is that he is just a tactical genius. Each game, he's got a different tweak. He's going to play different ways. I remember that Manchester City game when we beat them at home 2-0. Honest to God, I think we played 6 different styles. Every 10, 15 minutes, we were changing into deep block, and then we was heavily aggressive. We would play so many different ways. But now, we were so unpredictable last season. Imagine how unpredictable we are going to be this season. Like, we don't know who our striker is going to be. We don't know whether Szoboszlai and Wirtz are going to play in the 10 or who's going to play left wing, if it's going to be Frimpong or Kerkez, Frimpong or Bradley at right back. Honestly, there's so many question marks in my mind, but I love that. I love that unpredictability because we don't want to be rigid. In my opinion, Arsenal, for example, one of our main competitors, in my opinion, they're very rigid. They're very structured. You know exactly what they're going to do. You know how they're going to play. It's going to go out to Saka. It's going to go out to Martinelli. They're going to come back around. It's going to be like a U shape outside the box until they find that cross to the far box. And I'm just your average football fan. I'm not a tactical in any shape or form, but I already know how Arsenal are going to play. Not one of us can comfortably sit here right now and tell me how Liverpool are going to play next season. And that is absolutely spectacular. We're going to see a glimpse of it in the preseason, but no manager in the Premier League, they probably ask them the same questions. Where's Kerkez going to play? Szoboszlai can't be dropped. Is Diaz going to be playing the false 9 or is he going to play left wing? But you can't drop Gakpo. Gakpo is instrumental from the left wing. Is Salah going to be more of an inside forward? Is he going to touch the line more often? Is Frimpong going to come in as like an up and down right back? There's so many questions, but that is beautiful. I love that. I love that unpredictability, and I can't wait to see how it all pans out.
Welshmo, it's true, isn't it? Unpredictability is the name of the game. We don't want to be predictable. Do you remember even under Rafa, we definitely became predictable.
Yeah.
We were unpredictable. And even under Klopp, we knew the 11. You know, we knew the way we're gonna do it. We were just so good and relentless. We'd break you down eventually, you know, one way or the other. But with Slot, I think he's formulating a squad where it's based on unpredictability, flexibility. Players can play in any position. Look at the players that we've mentioned and how many positions they can play. Bar Salah, right? Pretty much all of them can play anywhere, right? Your 3 in midfield can play in any of the 8, 6, or 10 roles, okay? Because even Gravenberch, guys, let's not forget, Gravenberch can play as a 10 as well. I know he's the deepest, but there's been many occasions where he's been the most furthest forward attacking midfielder for Ajax. So we've got loads of changes. We've got everything else. But again, Wirtz, Welshmo, Wirtz is the name on everyone's lips, and of course, rightly so, about position-wise. Have you done any research on him and how he's been performing for Leverkusen? And obviously, he's alluded to Slot having a conversation with him, and he said, once Slot spoke to me, I knew where I want to be. What do you think that conversation sounded like? Because to me, it sounds like Pep wanted to do his usual, no. You play where I play, you run when I run, you walk when I walk, you know, whatever, one of those ones, you know, Pep, right? And Bayern Munich, I don't think could offer him a guaranteed. Bayern Munich think they're above everything else and everyone else. I think they were a bit arrogant towards him. What kind of pitch do you think Slot made with him?
You're my number 10. Simple as. 10? Yeah. I mean, if you look at, a lot of people have been researching Wirtz as soon as we found out we were getting linked with him and you know, watching him clips and all sorts. If you look at his heat map with Leverkusen, he was predominantly on the left. You know, he comes in from the left and cuts inside. I think that was part of what Xavi Alonso wanted him to do. But I think his natural position where he plays for Germany, if Musiala's not there, is as a 10. I think that's what sold the project to him. Slot saying, look, you're going to be my number 10. You're going to have people like Grav and Mac behind you. You're going to have attackers like Isak we're going to try and get, and you know, Mo and so forth. Like, and if you're a number 10, you're thinking, wow, I got all these players around me. Yeah, sign me up. I got Mo to my right. I got, you know, Diaz or Gakpo to my left. I got Isak in front of me. Oh yeah, I'm going to get loads of assists. And I've got 4 protectors, Ibu, Virg, Graven and Mac behind me. So it gives me a bit of freedom. So I think, you know, his natural position is a 10. I think he wants to play as a 10. But I think in games you'll see him drift to the left sometimes because that's just natural for him, you know. He likes to cut inside a lot. But primarily from a Liverpool perspective, I think he's going to be a 10. I think first game of the season, and this is a beautiful thing, the same like Mo said, even last year with Slot, 90% of the team we could probably predict. Now we've got options and we can actually say to ourselves, depending who we're up against will determine what midfield we're going to pick. Now, let's just focus on Bournemouth for the first game. Let's look at their midfield. They've got people like, I would imagine, like Lewis Cook, Alex Scott, Ryan Christie, Tavernier. You know, no big names, but hard workers. Okay, so what would Slot do to counteract that? I think starting Maka, Dom, and Wirtz is enough to counteract that. Whereas if you go and play another midfielder of a top 6 side, then you know maybe there'll be a few changes. So I think depending on the opposition will determine what kind of midfield we set up, which is great. We got options, and I love the fact we got options. We looked burnt out during the last 4 or 5 games of the season. All right, we won the league and we were celebrating, but we also looked burnt out. A lot of those first 11 players didn't get rotated much, because Slot didn't trust the bench he had. Now he's addressing that bench. Now he's getting rid of players and getting players he wants in.